here we go. Man, it's Tuesday again already. And here we go. So I got the live stream started. I've posted up links in all of my social media channels as per usual. It looks like I have one concurrent viewer, and hopefully it's not myself. I don't think it is. I do have the live chat open on the right hand side, so please keep it clean. I'm Coach, and you're you. And today we're going to learn a little bit more about SketchUp. And you might notice that there's a pattern here where I'll do 2 weeks on this subject, 2 weeks on this subject, 2 weeks on this subject. And so I might be going back to Python in the following week. But with that being said, like, if there's something that you specifically want to know more about, then post it up in the comments on YouTube, or hit me up at Facebook, Clayton Allen, or talk to the GoCreate team and say, hey, Coach needs to do this kind of software. I'll even go into MATLAB and Simulink if you want. But anywho, as per usual, get your favorite refreshment. I am cozied with my bottle of San Pellegrino, and I am just pulling stuff in my pockets. I'm pulling stuff out of my pockets, I should say, so I can get a little bit more cozy. Close the door. So the weather is getting nice, and last week I said, hey, you know, if some 4-star general came up to me with like $10 million and said, here's your budget to build your next lab, this is what we're gonna do. And then I showed like how to go and find and download components and then add them into your model. But today what we're going to do, we're going to take a slightly different tone. I'm actually going to, we're going to design a picnic bench, and the theme is obviously because the weather's getting nice, barring we don't have any tornadoes, hopefully. It's probably time to start thinking about your outdoor living space. And at GoCreate facility, or for those of you who are on McConnell Air Force Base, there are saws and things that you can use to design your picnic bench, but it's always good to have a plan. Okay, I'm just like really beating around the bush to finally getting to the subject at hand. I'm just gonna open up one more window just to make sure that I'm not missing any comments anywhere, and I'm not. Okay, back to my YouTube stream. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's go ahead and we just opened up the SketchUp application. We were greeted with this new window, and we can choose landscape, we can choose architectural, we can do simple in inches, simple in meters, we can do architectural in millimeters and architectural in centimeters. That would be interesting to do, architectural in millimeters. Anyway, we're going to go with the simple in inches, and we click that. We should be greeted with a new window here. Here we go. It's just an empty world. There's nothing here except for our default friend, our human without a face. I still don't know her name and what this is on her dress. But Google provides, or whoever SketchUp team, they provide this for us from the factory. So let's just start with the basic component. So if you wanted to build a picnic table, you need wood. And with that, you know, okay, I could build this out of 2x6s. I could build it out of 2x4s. I can do a picnic bench out of like plank wood. I am going to keep this super simple. So we'll just start with making some 2x4s, which they're not actually 2x4s, are they? They're like 1.75 by 3 something. You know what? I don't actually know what that is. So let's just do a quick Google. Actual size of 2x4. Believe it or not, it's right there. So you get 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So you're buying a 2x4, but you're getting cheated. All right, so let's just come down here and we're going to start with a component. So we're going to drag out a rectangle, and just as I had talked about last week in this dimensions area in the lower right hand side, as you drag out the size of your rectangle, before you click, you can actually declare the dimensions of the rectangle. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to literally start typing 3.5 quotes. So let's try this again. Numlock 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and that gives us a 2x4. All right, let's make this 2x4. Let's see, I want to hold the shift key and then zoom out some. So let's make this 2x4. Let's make it a 2x4 by 8. So we just put in 8 apostrophe for 8 feet, hit enter, and we have our 8-foot 2x4. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make it actually look like a 2x4. Let's see, the wood bark, wood cherry, OSB, plywood. I'm just trying to pick a somewhat relevant thing, so let's try this one. Oof, that doesn't look good at all. That could almost pass. Maybe it's like a pre-stained 2x4 from Lowe's. Imagine that. We'll do the end caps over here. I got this end cap down here that I need to hit as well. Okay, perfect. So we have a 2x4. Now let's go here. Let's click this. Click this. If we triple click the 2x4, it will select every portion of it, right? So let's try this. If I click this and I just click this face or this line, you only get that piece. But if I triple click, it selects the whole thing. And now if I right click, I can make this a component. So let's call this a 2x4x8. We can glue it to horizontal, vertical, sloped. I'm just going to keep that to none. And hit OK. Perfect. So now, in theory, I have this model that I can just click, or this component, I hit click and I can do a move, hold the control key, and as I click this, it creates a copy. Notice how if I hit the control key, it toggles between creating a new copy and actually moving it. So we're going to create a copy. Perfect. So let's go ahead and rotate this down to make it like actually lay down, because picnic tables are flat. Cool. Let's move it on the green axis. Let's just get it kind of more in the right region here. Let's drag, whoops, not that. I want to drag it down. So we're on the blue axis. Holding the shift key will constrain it to move on the blue axis. I will say that it can be a little clunky sometimes, like trying to maneuver around the 3D camera, the 3D world. But regardless, it's not the end of the world. It's just clunky. Okay. Wow, that may be too low. So this is 2x4x8. We could trim it down. Maybe you don't want it to be, 8 feet long. Maybe you want a shorter one. So how could you make it shorter? We'll click on this component. We're going to right click. We're going to make this unique. And that allows us to click on a face. Let's click on a face here. And we can move it in. We can say, you know what? I want to reduce it by 2 feet. Awesome. So now if I measure this out, we should have says on edge, we have a 6-foot beam. Okay. So it's going to be 6 feet wide. So let's go ahead and do the move tool while pushing the control key. And we're going to move this over. Let's see, I want like a tiny bit of a gap, but not a lot. So if I go 3 7/8, that seems like it's enough. Like the picnic table tops, they usually always have a little bit of a gap. So let's see, 3. Okay. 3 3/4. Zoom in. 3 11/16. Perfect. What happens if I do times 6? Boom. So just like that, I created pretty much the entire tabletop, right? Just Control Z. Let's do another move. Control. We're going to go, let's see, 3.6875 inches. And then I'm going to go times 8, just like that. The whole tabletop is created. So right off the bat, you can kind of get the sense that, like, dude, this just makes it super easy. It just makes it super easy to, like, if we're trying to build a cut list of how much wood we want to cut, makes it pretty easy to do that. So let's see, that's a bit tall, isn't it? Because if I grab her over here, if I bring her over and she were standing next to the table, it's almost like at bar top height to our crazy dressed friend here. So our picnic table probably needs to move in the down direction. So let's drag and select that. Move it on down. We're constrained in the Z. Okay. That's not too bad. All right. So now with our picnic table, we need to do those beams that go across. I don't know quite what they're called, but simple enough. I'm going to move this, drag it over so I have a copy. I need to do that whole thing again where I say make this one unique, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to rotate it rather. Okay. Bring it on down. let's bring this. Should be able to bring it up. I want to snap it to that face, but excuse me. Oh, Lord. That looks fairly close. Just move that over to that edge a little bit. Okay. That's not too bad. Now, I want to constrain, or I want to make this beam a certain number of inches from the edge of this set of beams here. So how could one do that? It's actually fairly simple. So we're going to grab our tape measure, and we're just going to pick any one of these lines here, and we'll drag off. And you'll notice that I get this like dotted line as I move across. So I can say, you know what, dude, I want this to be 4 inches from the edge. So I type in 4 double quotes, and that gets me my guideline, if you will. You see it extending all the way out there. So what we're going to do now is grab our move tool, and it pretty much snaps right into place. Okay, but we still got a beam that's like entirely too long. So I'm going to double click on this beam, grab my push-pull tool, click on this face, and bring it up to, if I hold over this edge here, it's going to make it basically comply with that edge and be the exact length that I want it. So click that. Awesome. All right, let's do our 4-inch tool again. So we grab our tape measure, grab on this line here, come in, 4 quotation marks, get our 4 inches, and then we want to move this, but we do the control key and click. And with the Z, or with the axis being constrained to the green, we can click and drag. So now we got those two, I don't know the appropriate word in woodworking terms, but those two things there. So let's go ahead and get rid of our guidelines because we don't need those right away. Maybe, just maybe, there needs to be some kind of like cross beams to be like legs, because we don't want them pointing straight down. So let's go ahead and go back to our component tool, or our components. We'll do a move with the control key, make a copy. Awesome. Now I want to do a rotation. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to angle it at 45 degrees. Let's do a move here and just see what happened. Now that might be a pretty radical rake to have done, so I might end up reattempting that, but for now I'm just gonna get it over into place. I've always seen picnic benches like have crossed legs at the very end there, so I'm just kind of going on what I know. I kind of don't like the way this thing is just inferring stuff like that, but it might be okay. I think I might have to accept that. Alright, now let's just move it out this way. We're on the green axis here. Because we're actually going to mount that. We're going to mount this right here on the edge and then have two of them crossing over each other. So I just need to move oh, 1 second. So, as per usual, it's not a Tuesday night without listening to my awesome daughter pretend that she's Tigger and jump all night long. So, there's that. Alright, back to work. Where was I? Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about this. Let's see. I want to get that like right on the edge, dude. Alright, that should do it. Alright. So now what I want to do is just make a, I want to make like a reference line on this. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is double click. Oop. Let's right click, make unique. If I draw a line from there to there, now what I should be able to do is just do a push pull and cut that. So that's perfect. All right. And we're back. I need to do that also right here because I want that to be exactly a certain kind of length, right? So what I'm going to do now is click here, drag across, hit escape, then whoopsie, where's that line at? Let's get rid of that line. Oh, that's just weird. That is just weird. So we're gonna have to do this again. Come across. Okay. Awesome sauce. So I have that. I'm going to do a control and move to make a copy of this. And then I should be able to on this one. Let's see here. On this one, I want to flip along the components. I want to say it's going to be the components blue. Nope. Okay, so let's try that again. Flip along, components green. Flip along, components red. Nope, dang it. Nope, we're just gonna not do it that way. We're going to rotate. So we click here and there and 180. Perfect. Click move. Shift that right into place. So you could do that. You could put it right there, but that's just lending itself to issues. So I'm just gonna make them intersect just like that. Let's zoom in here because I want the edge. I got a little bit of an issue here. It didn't flip along, so we're going to do this. What in tarnations is going on? There we go. Got it. Perfect. Cool, cool. So we got that pretty much squared away. We'll grab this one and this one. We'll do the M key for a move, hit Control to duplicate, and Shift to move on the green axis. That looks good. Shifting again, just put that right in place. So, yep, there we go. There's our table. Obviously, if you're a woodworker, you would do some things like notch this out so that they can stack perfectly on top of each other. And then you would probably want to do a beam that goes from this side to this side. But anyway, so there's our picnic table, and now we have a model that we created from scratch. And then you get an idea, like, okay, well, these are how I would cut things, and you know you measure, like, I'm gonna cut 45 degrees there, 45 degrees there. I'm gonna notch, you know, halfway through this one and halfway through this one to make those lay on top of each other. I'm going to use screws here and here, here and here. Screws all along this deck here, and obviously all along that deck over there. What happens if I click send a layout? I've never done this before. Yep. So we'll just save this to my desktop. We'll call this GoCreate. A picnic. Boom. Probably can't use exclamation points. So it sends it to layout. What do we get when we go to layout? Choose a template. landscape div 4. Sure. What do we got going on here? Oh, this is cool. This is cool. So I can move this into view, and for funsies, I can add a dimension here. So I need to cut a bunch of 2x4s. Oops. Let's not do that. There we go. Cut a bunch of 2x4s. I'm gonna say, man, I need some 6-foot 2x4. Oh, yeah. I should probably learn how to use the layout software before I click it. So if I add a sheet, previous, arrange. What is going on here? Circles, rectangles, lines. A long time ago, back when this was done by Google, it would literally just like lay all of your parts out flat and give you basically like a cut sheet that you would then use to make all your cuts. But it's not doing that today, and I'm okay with that. This is just something that I was like, you know, hey, let's play with this and see what it does. But I will learn that and show it to you in another day. What is this? Scale drawing, make scale drawing. Choose a scale. One 1/16 equals a foot. No, we're not doing that. Screw that. Don't save. Perfect. All right, so let's get rid of our component and our friend. Let's go into load. Let's get yard chair. I wonder how close I got to being at like a good scale for a picnic chair. Sure, let's get a Verona chair. That looks simple. That's actually that's not terrible. I mean, it could stand to be a little bit wider. Maybe if we're doing like social distancing, hardy har. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's grab both of them. This, that, and then do a move, control, constrain it to the red, and then we'll do a rotate. Come on, bro. There we go. Just want the blue axis. Rotate 180. Move. Awesome. Oh, don't do that. Stop. Escape. So there's that. We could put a little table decor on there. Sure, why not? That on the table so we don't have to actually look at our friends when we eat. It's just overbearing, and someone who drew that model like made it unnecessarily big. Man. Oh, yeah, that looks way too big. Huh. Maybe not. Maybe not that dude. Salt and pepper shakers. Yep. Yep. Let's load that into our model. We don't want that. What is going on here? Yep, there we go. Salt and pepper shakers go. There we go. Zoom in. Isn't that nice? So you guys should get the point by now. Like, this is purely a it's just a way to conceptualize, right? If you're trying to conceptualize your, you know, project in a real quick way, but you don't want to go through all the hippity hoopla of learning SolidWorks and, you know, CAD and all this other, you know, crazy stuff. SketchUp is literally your best friend. SketchUp is a maker's best friend. It's an interior designer's best friend. I don't think they have it at the GoCreate facility on any of their computers, but you can get them. You can get trials and run the trials for free. When you start to do stuff that makes you an income, I think that's when they start to garble at you a little bit and say, yo, dude, maybe you need to pay us the $300 a year to run the software license. And then, of course, you get all kinds of other really cool stuff like being able to do some integrated virtual reality. But that is not for me to sell you. That's for them to sell you. I just really think SketchUp is like a super handy way of getting a quick project out there. I wanted to design my son's room, right, and I had to go through my wife, hey, I'm really thinking about doing this to my son's room, and here's kind of what I'm thinking. So I literally went in there and measured my son's bedroom with a 3D or with a laser scanner, like a little laser rangefinder, and I got the exact dimensions of his room. So that represents his window, his closet, and his main entrance door. And then here's the fireplace that I built, and his TV is just above that. And believe it or not, that is his actual desk, because someone had made a 3D model of it already for me and had it in SketchUp, a laptop. So you're literally looking at what my son's room looks like, and we found pictures very similar to this on Amazon. We have a futon style bed, like a futon style day bed, in his room. He actually has a guitar, and the only thing that we do not have yet is this telephone booth, because I need to sketch that up and plan how I'm going to be a woodworking guru at GoCreate and make this for my son's bedroom. But eventually it'll have a mirror, and then behind that will be a bookcase so that he can hide his books behind the mirror and then check himself out in the morning when he's getting ready to go to school. But that is just like another use case for how to use Google SketchUp. Anywho, I've been going now for about 45 minutes, I think. And I am not going to continue. I think that's all I can do today to bore you with Google SketchUp, or SketchUp, whoever makes SketchUp, who knows. It's Trimble, it's something. Like, comment, subscribe, share, post, embed, do whatever it is that you want to do. I am looking for feedback. So if you decide that you want to tell me, like, hey coach, I think we should learn a little bit about something, right? I will look something up, and if I don't already know it, and then make videos about it. There's a lot of things that I know how to do, and there's a lot of software that I know. So chances are, if it's a question you have, I have some bit of knowledge on it and can coach you, get it, coach you, through the process. All right, guys.